Okay, my friends, today we are live streaming an event, which is the Oslo Go Club versus Gothenburg Go Club. This is an annual event. It's an annual match or a game between the two Go clubs. They've been doing it for 4 years already. So I think this is the 4th year or the 5th year. And it's between the two cities of Gothenburg and Oslo. So let me first introduce Gothenburg. Gothenburg, of course, is the second largest city in Sweden, and it is quite modestly sized with a population. Okay, the city population has 608,000 people. And the larger metropolitan area has a little bit over a million people in Gothenburg. And I used to live in Gothenburg for a couple of years when I was younger, in my early 20s. So of course I'm rooting for Gothenburg this match. And here is Gothenburg Go Club, some history. This is in Swedish, but maybe they have it in English too, who knows? No, they don't have the history in English. But it started in 1976. So next year, the Gothenburg Go Club will be 50 years old, which is pretty cool. Okay, and then we have, of course, the city of Oslo. Oslo is the capital of Norway. The world capital of black metal music. Are you talking about Gothenburg or Oslo now? I think it's Oslo. Oslo is more black metal, yeah? Or maybe I don't know. Yeah, Gothenburg has a lot of good music, though. Okay, and Oslo is slightly larger than Gothenburg, being a capital city and all that. Metropolitan area has about almost 1.6 million people. But in the city, it's 700,000, so it just differs by 100,000 people in the main city area. Oslo Go Club is a bit smaller than Gothenburg Go Club. It says here they have about 10 active members. So they have some work to do over there. It's a bigger city, but they have a smaller Go Club. What's going on there, guys? Yeah. Yeah, I've been to Oslo once, and I've been around in Norway a little bit. Norway is indeed incredibly beautiful, with the fjords, the mountains, all that stuff, the islands. Yeah, beautiful. I mean, Gothenburg is quite pretty as well, but it's more of your run-of-the-mill European city by the water kind of thing. Norway is special with its fjords, you know. Okay, so this is the account of Gothenburg Go Club. They said the match would start at 5:30. Of course, it's possible that they have delays. So if they do, we will do some puzzles together and wait for them. I have some information from Gothenburg. I don't have direct information from Oslo at the moment. I do have a contact in Oslo Go Club though. But for now, the only players who have arrived are 2Q, 4Q, 2Q, and 5Q. But I think some other people will arrive shortly. So this match is going to be played as a kind of a nomination style Go. So that means the people in the club who are there today, because both Oslo and Gothenburg meet on Wednesdays, it seems, they will discuss before each move and sort of collectively decide on a move, which is kind of cool. So you kind of get the strongest club that way, more than like the strongest player. I know at least one strong player from Gothenburg is not going to be there today. So of course that matters who shows up. Yeah, Fox, we can't play a whole game while waiting for their game, but we can do some puzzles. So let's do black2play.com. Let's go black2play.com, which is an amazing site for puzzles. This is so hard, 6 Dan. Let's go to some normal levels. Let's change to something like 5Q maybe. That might be easy, let's see. And let's keep AI problems and classic problems. Okay, good. And yeah, 5Q. Okay, so this actually has a span here. We can do a span between 6Q and 4Q. That sounds good. And we want to do it not ranked, I think, not rated. So let's go. Yep, Now we got a 4Q problem. So this is new in black2play.com. This is a crazy cool update for this website, is that they now have like hundreds of thousands of puzzles that are generated by AI. So they're very organic. Okay, in this puzzle, we can see that it's a matter of liberties here, right? A liberty race. We only have 3. And the white seems to have more. But if we play here, we can then Atari in the next move. So this should be enough to beat black in this, white in this scenario. Okay, let's keep an eye open to see if the game has started yet. It's quite interesting that this account of Gothenburg Go Club has played 1 game against the 14Q and lost. Wonder what that was. Okay, this is not an AI problem. This is a classic problem, a book problem. But I think if we play here, white won't be able to make 2 eyes. Yeah. Simple as that. Maybe these are too easy, huh? What do you guys think? Okay, AI problem. Yeah, I love these AI problems because they are more like real games. You don't really know even what is the problem yet. You have to look around and keep an open mind. It seems to be something in the corner. Yeah, could it be this one? Yeah, this seems like a good move. If they capture, we can Atari here. So they would have to start a co, but then there are no co threats on this board that are big enough. That's what I reckon. Should be this move. Yeah, they try to use a local co threat, but to no avail. Actually, let's just do AI problems. I think they are more interesting than the classic problems, right? Yeah, let's go. Next one. A fast game on Fox. No, I don't have time for that. We do puzzles is better, la. Okay. And for anyone joining just now, we are waiting for the match to start. So they said they will start at 5:30, but not surprisingly, they are starting later. Säg till när ni börjar. I will write to Carolina, who is in Oslo. But she's Swedish, I think. She's Swedish, but she's playing for Oslo. Yeah, that's a little bit of a Quisling move. It's like a reverse. What is that? A reverse Quisling? Quisling, he betrayed Norway, but she's betraying Sweden in favor of Norway. Anyway. Okay. So, black to play. I think it's about killing the lower left. Don't you think so? Could it just be we play here and it's very difficult for white to make 2 eyes? You also have to watch out for something like a Seki, but I don't think even a Seki is possible here. It's wrong. Oh my. Wow, it's wrong move. Okay, let me understand why. If I capture here, how? Okay, if this move happens, I was going to play here. Yeah, this was my plan. And to me, this looks like a dead shape. Okay, so that might not be white's answer. So if that doesn't work, Atari and connect. Then we have time to play here maybe. Is it like that? Because this actually... But isn't this also a dead shape? So funny, I don't know. This is supposed to be a 4Q problem, but I think it's difficult, isn't it? Huh? Wait, how does white live here? Could it be this move then? Or even this one first? Even this one first, of course, is like, I cannot connect because... Yeah, this is for sure alive. Okay. Okay, great. So we learned something. So then what are we supposed to do? Any ideas? Shumia says, no site better than 101. You're asking me if this site is better than Sumigor Dragon or 101, Weichi. I wouldn't say it's better overall. Like, that's a lot to do with your personal taste, and 101, after all, has a true wealth of material. But this site is unique. It has some unique stuff that you cannot get in these other sites, and that unique thing is these AI generated problems, and there are hundreds of thousands of them, all the way up to like above professional level, so high level. This is unique because these problems, like this problem, they're organic. They are not like man-made. A lot of the problems in problem sites are these weird artificial problems with stones on the first row or whatever. But this site, when you use the AI problems, they are organic. So they, are from normal gameplay, and that means they have a little bit more of ecological validity, as we call it. They are more related to reality. So the lessons you learn in these problems are all going to be useful at some point in Go. The name of this website is black2play.com. Yeah, so it's black2play.com, which is really cool. But this problem is a perfect example, because this something definitely could happen in a real game. And now we have to use some kind of precision. So am I supposed to crawl first? But then white hane, yeah, it doesn't work, right? But maybe after white hane, we can go here, and then if they block, we can play this kind of move. And it's a ko. Even this move is threatening a ko, isn't it? Huh. So if we start a ko, we will have ko threats. No. Why is this so hard? I mean, am I just supposed to play here then? Maybe that's it, yeah. Because if I play here, it's different, because he doesn't have that throw in, right? And then this is a famous shape right here. This is a famous shape. Although I would say for 4Q, this is quite hard. I mean, or maybe I'm biased because it was hard for me. But yeah, this is where you make an eye, and he can capture it. But after you connect, it's definitely a bent 5 in the corner. Yeah, it's a little bit hard. It's a little bit hard, in my opinion. So I will change. I will change the rating. I happen to have some power over that. In my opinion, it's a little bit hard. Okay. All right, next problem. Okay, let's see if the game has started yet or not. We should be able to see it here on their page, right? Keep an eye on the messenger. Okay, they're about to start, they said. They need 2 minutes though, because all right, so we have some more information also from Norway. Right now, the strongest players who are there is Paul Sannes, Jon, and Sverre Jon. What's his last name? I should know. Jon Runar Melting. Yeah. So Paul Sannes, I know he's used to be 4-dan. He's 3-dan now, but he's very strong. In fact, I lost to him last year in the Nordic Championships, even though I won the tournament. So he's quite strong. So far Norway has a stronger team at the moment. And they say we'll start in like 2 minutes. Great. Great. But we will see if the really strong Gothenburg players show up today or not. Yeah. I agree, Bladavia, that the microwave sound is extremely satisfying in black2play.com. This is like ping. It's such a classic. Okay, so in this problem, instinct tells us to play here. But if we play here, okay, if white expands with this move, we go down, we make an eye, and we should be better. One eye beats no eye. But what if he plays the hane? If he plays the hane, yeah, we cannot make the dumpling shape because he will play here. That will be a seki, and that's not enough for black because white has a lot of territory. So if he played the hane, we need to hane back. And then he can only make a ko by throwing in. But we capture the ko first. Okay, this is important. So it's hard for him, I guess. Because he doesn't have ko threats. Unless he has some threat to connect back. No, he doesn't have a threat. Okay, so I think it's just like that. Like that. Capture the ko. And yeah, white doesn't have ko threats, basically. See, this is what I mean. The problem is quite organic. You would see something like this in games, and you would have to read it precisely. Yeah. Okay, let's go next problem. While waiting for them to start. In Gothenburg, by the way, Gothenburg has some really strong, like 3-dan players. Like they have 3-dan, maybe even a 4-dan player. But for sure, they have a bunch of 3-dan players. Several players who are at least 7-dan on Fox. So if they all showed up, that would be something for Gothenburg. But I don't know if they will. Also, I will mention that that in the last 4 times they played, I think Gothenburg won 3 out of them. Do I have this statistic correct? Let me see. She wrote to me here somewhere. Oh no, she even writes, okay, they've actually played it 5 times already. 4 out of 5 have been won by Gothenburg. That's what she wrote. And then Oslo won last year. Okay, interesting. Bug Kitten is asking, are you still teaching at those Chinese schools? I am teaching at a Chinese school at the moment in Stockholm. Yeah. But I'm going to expand my teaching this year and the next year by a lot, I hope. Okay, so anyway, this puzzle seems like this is the move. I think we can just play it and then handle as we go. Which is something we do when we play real games as well. Some situations, I mean, it can never be wrong to play Hane here and then see what happens. Yeah. Okay. Continue. Okay, looks like black needs to play this move, right? That's the key here. Point-wise, black is kind of good. Black has the corners. By the way, you can check the points here. For instance, this is a minus Komi, minus 5.5. And then you estimate the score. You can use estimate score for free when you do it. And so black is leading by points as long as he doesn't die here. If somebody's curious why it's minus 5.5, why would you have a minus Komi? You can first think about it for a moment. And then I will explain. But okay, yeah, here black needs to play here, otherwise dies. So, yeah. That's the important thing, is to notice that. Okay, this is a Liberty race. But this Liberty race requires, you know, a little bit of experience, maybe. Because on the surface, it looks like black has 2 liberties and white has 2 liberties. But these liberties are difficult to approach. If black approaches in the corner, it will be a suicide. If black approaches here, that's also a suicide for that stone, at least. And the same thing goes for white. White cannot approach at a7 or the a9. We call these hidden liberties or dark liberties. In Chinese, called anqi, which means dark liberties or hidden liberties. So in this case, black actually, for white to capture the black stones, white would first have to play a5, then a7, and only then can play a9. So it's in practice 3 liberties. For white, it looks like also the same. If black goes down, and then go here, and then go here. But there is a crux. White actually has, perhaps we can say, 4 liberties. In fact, white has 2 hidden liberties. Not only is the case that black cannot readily approach here, After black goes down here, white can cut, making it hard for black to approach here. Black needs to spend 2 moves to capture the white stones before capture. So in a direct liberty race like this, black needs to spend 4 moves, not 3. So white would win. So then we need to expand our search to these kind of suicidal moves, or aka sacrifices. So if we throw in here and white captures, then we can block, right? And if white connects, white dies. So white would have to counter a target, and then we capture, and it's a ko. And in this board, we can see white doesn't have any ko threats. So we need to make a good calculation before we decide whether to go down or to play the ko. So in this case, we have to play the ko. Quite nice. Good problem. Very practical, wouldn't you say? Okay, now let's see if they started yet. We are here to watch a game after all. Yes, fantastic. Great. Okay, so quickly to reiterate who are playing. We have Gothenburg Go Club are taking black, and the Oslo Go Club are taking white. Perhaps you can, those of you who can read can also figure that out. Good. Okay. And as I mentioned before, this is sort of collective playing, or collective Rengo, you can call it, but they don't take turns playing the moves. They discuss and they make moves accordingly. So it's sort of the collective wisdom of each club. So far, we don't have any information of any super strong player from Gothenburg, but they have a decent average level right now, because the players I know are there are in the ranges of 5Q to 2Q. Whereas in Oslo right now, I already know there's a 3-dan who used to be a 4-dan. He's a very, very solid 3-dan. Yeah, and well, Jon, how strong is Jon? I should figure that out. Jon, of course, I met him last in Japan, I believe. Was it? Or Korea? I don't know. Jon Runar Melting. His name is Melting, which I think is kind of funny in English. I need to find him in the European Go database. Okay, I can do that now because we have time. They play pretty slowly. I think he might be 2-dan or 3-dan also, right? Something like that. Two-dan, yeah. So they have a 3-dan and a 2-dan already in place, which is really gives them the edge, right? Basically, Oslo has a Dan level team and Gothenburg has a Q level team at the moment. But maybe the Dan players will show up in Gothenburg. Hopefully they will. Because I am rooting for Gothenburg, of course. Yes, Bladavia, I agree. If there's one a clearly stronger player, probably mostly his moves are going to be chosen. But in this case, at least they have a 2-dan with the 3-dan, and they can discuss. Another thing is that Paul's style, the 3-dan style, is extremely like stable and sort of yeah, he has his own kind of style. So maybe not everybody will agree. And also, it's a social event, it's a fun event, so they will probably try to go for some crazy ideas as well. Thank you to Saphodius for the follow. Is that you, Rob? Is that you? I know Rob van Zeist has some Saphodic sounding nicknames. Okay, so far we have a basic Joseki in the upper left. The only thing that's a bit strange is, well, two things. One is that we have a cross opening, where white has taken two diagonally opposing corners, and so has black. And another thing is that black has played e4, which is not that common these days, right? We don't see those high moves that often. Basically because it's easy to invade. For instance, white can play c3 at the moment. But in this game, perhaps also playing the lower side, closing your corner makes sense. Attacking the upper right corner also makes sense. It wouldn't surprise me though if AI thinks the lower left is the most important to stop black from closing this corner. Yeah, that usually is very big. Also, it seems that black kind of is going for a cosmic style with the high move here and the high move here, high approach, and so on. So in following in accordance with the cosmic style, maybe now they will prefer to make an extension on the right side. I believe again that if you ask AI, this lower left corner, which hasn't been closed yet, is a priority. So closing at c4 would be appropriate, but only by like a little bit. It's totally fine to play other ideas. Yes, here we go, q4, a great idea. Attaching here is a standard move these days. It has a relationship with some ladders, especially when white play Hanne on the inside and black plays the counter Hanne. There is a ladder here. Maybe I should show you what I'm talking about. And it does seem that black doesn't have this ladder. So perhaps this move is slightly dubious at the moment. Yeah, slightly dubious at the moment. So I will show you the variation I'm thinking of. How do I do that? Here we go, analyze game. So there's a kind of a variation here. I'm not by any means an expert on these because there are some complicated stuff. But in this kind of shape, black usually plays here. And basically white cannot allow black to capture, so white run, black run. And then white counter Ataris. Yeah, this is a little bit... I'm not an expert at all on this stuff. Did I even play it correctly? I think black should cut first, right? Can someone help me, please? What is the variation? I haven't even played for a while, so I don't know. No, this is correct, right? Okay. I am so confused. But the point anyway would be after this exchange, come on, man. Some strong player help me out here. What's the correct move here? Yeah, cut first, right? Yeah, cut first. Then play here. Yeah, this is it. And after this one, the point is that... but okay, this is the ladder I'm thinking of. If black cannot capture these two in the ladder, white can go here now. But in this case, this ladder... Sorry guys, it's been a long day for me. This ladder is fine for black, so... Then it's okay. Then maybe black can play like this. Yeah, so they choose another variation. Yeah. Good, good, good. Yeah, sorry guys. That happens to me often with these more complicated joseki. I don't really know them. I just need to think during the game when I play them. Luckily, we had some stronger players in the chat to tell us what was going on. Okay, so anyway, this variation is a bit simpler. Here, black usually cuts, which is asking move. And white could think about answering like this. Answering like this would be a bit of a mistake because this is center now for black. So then black gets a very good shape on the right side. But this push is a nice one. And then black usually jumps. And the white's normal move is to capture here. But there is some variation like this, which can be very complicated actually. Again, I don't know very much about it. Yeah, I think I confused it with another variation, didn't I? Well, Rob, I usually don't play the complicated josekis. That's kind of my hallmark because it's an opportunity costing. As an amateur player, I don't have time to study all the complicated ones. And it's not, it's a kind of a sunk, like a wasted of time in a sense. It's not a waste of time, but it's you could spend that time learning bigger picture things, which can be more useful. Okay. Yeah, finally we have a simplistic variation. Yeah, finally black also closes the lower left. Yes, Rob mentioned that this move would be a normal move. Yeah, usually black wants to add help to these stones, but it is okay not to do so. Again, I don't think it wouldn't be surprising if the top move is to play c4. Wouldn't be surprising at all. Because AI always prioritizes corners. But this kind of move is extremely solid concept because you help the stones while also building your moyo, right? So I think this would be a nice idea. So here, the sort of punishment for white would be like to try to pincer these stones. But it's not that hard to run away. Yeah, they pincer low. So also, I've seen some variations where black just keeps ignoring, you know? Because you cannot capture easily. So even I do something like this and you capture it, it's not terrible for black, right? It's not so bad. I got many moves in a row outside. We could just remove all the stones in there that have been exchanged, right? Something like this, and the shape looks like this. Yeah, these are all even. I remove black and white stones. And we would say, you know, if somebody builds territory this way, it's not like super fast, right? So black would probably be okay to give the stones as well. But that's a simplistic because this shape here has a bunch of aji that black can exploit. And in the shape of the game, where we haven't removed those stones, there's very little aji, so it's more clean. So it's not as bad as I just made it out to be for white. So it's probably still good for white, but not terrible for black. So that's an option if you don't want to run with the stones. But I think running with the stones is totally normal here. Back to game. Okay, there is no move yet in the game, I guess. Ah, don't tell me they are listening to me. Yes, I was doing Tevari analysis. Yeah, as I showed earlier, my knowledge of complicated Joseki is quite weak, but I can use nuanced technology such as Tevari to make analysis at least. Yeah. And who is accredited with inventing Tevari, or at least popularizing it? Extra points if you know that. A pretty famous Go player. I'm sure Rob already knows that, but the other ones might not. Bug Kitten gives the correct answer. Dosaku. Honimbo Dosaku. A famous Go saint from Japan. I don't know, 1600s maybe? Then this should be some time ago that he lived. Yeah, I think the 1600s. Yeah, he is accredited with coming up with this idea of Tevari, which is basically just means rearranging the sequence or the order of moves to make to illustrate or elucidate some points. Okay, so let's see if they have played some more moves after this. No, they haven't. Okay. Yeah, indeed, this is a nice move. I think, I'm not sure, but I have seen this move suggested as a strong way to attack the shape, which has some relationship to like this attach later. I've also seen like directly shoulder hit, but either way, you can still adopt such a strategy. You know, kind of taunting them a little bit, teasing them, say, "Hey, do you really want to capture them? Are you sure you can do it?" Yes, fake tevari can be harmful indeed. That's why I tried to add a little bit of a caveat earlier when I was doing the tevari to say that, you know, I simplify a little bit because in reality, there are some more factors that make it a little bit different than the tevari variation. Like there are some tevari situation that is like very pure, where it really holds up. But then there's this kind of fuzzy tevari, like what I was doing just now. You have to remember. And indeed, you can use tevari to like almost play a trick on yourself or the person you're discussing with, and be like, look, if you can't refute that this is bad, you change the order in a very ham-fisted way. Okay, good. By the way, someone mentioned that I got confused earlier with the Han outside. I think that's exactly what happened. I got confused with this variation, which is very similar, right? So this is the variation. That's why everything seemed wrong to me. I was like, what's going on? Right? Yeah, because I think usually when somebody plays Q3, they are not planning to play Q5, right? This is the thing, right? And indeed, I remember now that if you see this thing, black can even choose such a variation, right? Atari from this side and just give. I remember this kind of thing. After that one, we can add a move, or we can even just away. So yeah, that happens sometimes when your mind is like thinking about what should I say, what's going on, and you forget to like just look at the board normally. Yeah, I kind of know this thing. I just was very confused just now. So thank you guys for helping me out with my confusion. Really appreciate it. Okay, so finally a white plays here. And okay, yeah, my suggestion was that black should just protect over here because black is trying to give away. And that's what they're doing. Okay, guys, this is not good if Gothenburg is listening to my stream. Okay, that's not good. Yeah, it's like doing math on stream. I understand, Vladivia. Yes. But I'm suspecting black is choosing this because, as we mentioned earlier, the average rating of the Gothenburg Go Club currently at least is lower. So for Q players, this kind of strategy is even better because you won't get outplayed in a fight directly, you know. And making a big moyo like this, yeah, it's a pretty good thing to do when you're a Q player playing a Dan player, because moyos, they're like mysterious, you know. Moyos can fool even the strongest player. So making it more muddy is good when you're the weaker player. Ah, we have some pictures from Oslo. This is great. How can I get these up on screen? I can send them to myself by email. Is that a boomer thing that I want to email the pictures to myself? Yes, I will email them to myself. It's a beautiful idea. And then I can open up my email. Then everybody will see my email though. Is that good? Oof, that seems stupid. Maybe I shouldn't email them to myself. No, I know what I will do. They sent me. Okay, wait. I know what I can do. I can just open them on Facebook because that's where she sent them. Such a genius. Rob says, wait till you get older. Yeah, I know. I can always blame age, right? So here we go. There's a nice picture live from Oslo Go Club. Wow, that environment looks beautiful. That's like a university lecture hall or something, right? Look at those windows. Do they play there every day, every week? I mean, that's really nice. Okay, and there we have Jon Runar Melting discussing on a board over there. Okay, and some other people are playing 9x9 and 13x13 while they're waiting. Okay, so very cool indeed. And there was one more picture. Yeah, here we go. Wonderful, wonderful. Pretty cool. Oh, you guys can't see the board, I guess. I forgot that the chat is covering. But you can see. Anyway, enough. Okay, back to the game now. Where is it? Over here. Okay, and black is capturing with diagonal move. Yeah. Looks he's trying to play 5 in a row here. But just to further describe the points, here you capture, but you didn't capture super cleanly, right? There's still a lot of play in these stones, or aji as we call it. Specifically, there's many center moves around here. Black have center move here. Black has center move around here, right? In fact, black could probably get the N5 in center also, right? Yeah, maybe even N4, right? So there's these kind of moves, I call them ghost moves. Yeah, because they are like there, but they're not there. You can imagine a black stone at any of those points, but not on all of those points. But at one of those points, which is kind of like a ghost that can appear later. Let's say a fight breaks out over here and black can use this move, or this move, or this move, or this move. Yeah, it's very, very bothersome for white, especially these ghost moves. And of course, in the end game, this will be kind of big. It will be center for black in the end game. You can see, smaller than you thought here, right? So while white has captured black, black is still quite nice. And now black can add one more move, which should be on the bottom, right? Right now, white has not... No, they played the same move. I say, this is not looking good, guys. What's going on? They're not looking at the stream, I hope. That would be ridiculous. Wow. But this is exactly the variation I proposed earlier, although I didn't say this white move. I think I said this white move, which I cannot say is better or worse. They all have their own drawbacks, you know. Yeah, but this makes sense because white not only captured, but also created some influence here. So white will try to make extension. Even now, white might consider actually to play here because it's very big. So blacking playing here is a really nice idea. And because white is quite thick, we don't want to play too far, like k3. If you play something like k3, it's an immediate invitation for white to invade here, right? For instance here, and you won't be able to connect very well. Or I can even invade like this. Then it's difficult for black. So this kind of humble move is just right, I would say. Yeah, it could be that all Swedish minds think alike. Or the fact that they are all Q players. That's why I think like them. Well, it turns out well, after all, Gothenburg won most of these, so maybe they're pretty strong. Okay, but now I have some new information also. Whoops. Gustav Fahl and Johan Berntsson are there now. They are both, one of them is 2 dan, one is 3 dan, I think. Or maybe both are 3 dan. And especially Johan Berntsson is very strong. In fact, he's noted to having done tens of thousands of life and death problem. And I heard whispers of him beating a professional player in an even game not long ago. And he is at least 7 dan on Fox. So now Sweden has a strong team suddenly. Stronger, or in Sweden I should say Gothenburg. It's not Sweden versus Norway, it's Gothenburg versus Oslo. Yes, they also have Shuchi, who is a 2 dan as well. Okay. They have Jun and Shuchi, and they have Michael as well. Oh my god. Okay, guys, we have a lot of new information here. Om ni vill vara med. Okay, so actually now the Gothenburg team is stronger. Now we have Mikael Svensson, 3 dan. We have Johan Berntsson, 3 dan. We have Gustav Fahl, 3 dan. We have Jun, I think he's 3 dan. We have Shuchi, who is 2 dan. Swedish team is shaping up. Not Michael Chen, Michael Svensson. Mikael Svensson. I will actually show you his EGD for the fun of it, because you can see the story of this player in his EGD profile. This player was like incredibly talented, came up out of nowhere and played not many tournaments, 22 tournaments. And you can see this fast rise in his level, right? Just pew. And then around here, you can imagine what happened around there. Let me just hide the chat for a second. Yeah, you can imagine what happened around here. Yeah, he became a father, and then you didn't see him for years and years and years and years. And now he's back again. And pew, he's up to 3-dan there. So you can see his efficiency is quite high. Yeah, quite a strong player indeed. Look at this tournament he played in 2016. He was 2-dan at the time, but he beat 4-dan, 4-dan, 3-dan, 5-dan, 3-dan. Yep, he is a pretty strong 3-dan indeed. So he was doing some real stuff back then. But now, yeah, he's been out for a long time, but he's still pretty good. We've played him on stream before, actually. We had some training match with him on stream. Okay, good, good, good. Yeah, and they even write it here in the chat. Okay, great. I will put the chat back on here. Ah, good. Okay, so white is realizing, okay, black has got a big moy over there. Let's probe and invade in this way. And in my experience, generally speaking, Hana outside is a great idea. Because usually this kind of shape, white just lives very uncomfortable. But maybe in this case, we could end up having a situation for black where this R11 stone isn't very efficiently placed. I mean, it's quite doing something there because it makes this cut very not scary for black. But we could say, because we also know this, I mean, these are just some immediate thoughts I have. I'm not sure if these are good thoughts, but because this is our right, we very strong here. We can say this is kind of ours right now. So it would make sense in that sense to just take the territory, right? Yeah, because white wouldn't be able to invade here. Yeah, because of this one exchange, makes it very hard for white to invade. I mean, this 1-2 exchange. So in that case, maybe in this particular game, Hane is good on the inside. I think both are possible though. But my general experience is that like Hana outside is very good in these situations. Okay, they also did that. Okay, and that's not what happened. Back to game. Oh, okay, so white is thinking at the moment. I think Rob is saying, someone is writing to me. Oh, it's Carolina is maybe sending more pictures. Look at this one. Now we know why Oslo might win, huh? They have this player. Powerful player, huh? Adorable, adorable. Okay, anyway. Back to game. Yeah, Rob is saying white wouldn't play R17, white will play Hane, for instance, P18, I guess he's saying. Not for instance, I think he's talking about this Hane. Yes, this could happen too. And I'm not sure what the best variation is, but maybe this is normal. Something like that. We can imagine. And the black center. Yeah, can use center directly to play here or just here or play the left side. Probably we make this exchange. Play like this, so I make this would make sense. Yeah, that seems okay. But white still hasn't played. See if we got any pictures from Gothenburg. Yes, we have. Okay. This one is... Wow, it looks very strong. Actually, this Jun fella is Chinese 5-dan. Yeah, okay, looks like Gothenburg. Gothenburg has some strong. Okay, how can I share this picture? Uh-huh. Let me figure it out. This is boomer stuff, guys. I'm boomer. Don't hate on me for being a boomer. I know I can get the pictures like this. Discord. Somebody writing me something. Okay, guys. Again, I'm looking for Discord. Somebody send me the picture on Discord. Let me see. You guys heard of Discord? Okay, good. Now I can share this picture. Fantastic. Let me do it. Window capture, maybe. Here we go. Yes, should be here. Okay, good. Yes, I'm a true boomer. And of course, this window capture comes above everything else. Here we go. Okay. Maybe it was good that it was above everything else. What do I know? Yeah, actually it was. Really a boomer. Okay, so this is the Gothenburg Go Club. They also have a beautiful environment where they're playing the match. So I think what's going on is they're not playing the match in their normal location. They are playing in a specially selected location for this match, perhaps. Or I don't know, maybe this is the normal location for Gothenburg Go Club. Beautiful with these big windows and autumn outside. So in the back, far back there, you can see Mikael Svensson. I was talking about him earlier. And who else can you see in this picture? These are some youngsters. They are pretty passionate. Over here you have Johan Berntsson, super tall guy. I would posit he's the strongest Go player in Europe. And when I say strongest, I mean physically strongest. This guy is a monster. He's a beast of physical strength. And he's the guy who's a very strong player as well. And then these two Chinese fellas are also strong. So Gothenburg is, yeah, getting up there, huh? Okay, anyway, let's go back to the game. Sorry about that. How do I, yeah, I like this. Okay, good. Oh, we're back. So let's see. Indeed, White finally chose to play this Hane. Yeah. I have to say, the general level of the play seems pretty high to me, right? I couldn't have done better. So that's good. Yes, he's a strong player. Exactly, you got it. Oops, what happened here? Oh, some other stuff. Anyway, close this one. It's too annoying. Okay. Back to the game. But someone asked if this is a Rengo. It's not Rengo. They are discussing the moves. But we saw there in the Gothenburg picture. Actually, let me just pull it up again, because we could see in that picture they are discussing a lot. Look at the variation they put up in the lower right here. They put like a big variation. They were thinking a lot of different things, right? So I mean, it's not just that the stronger players let's play here. They discuss, and the ability to together discuss and come up with good moves and ideas is quite interesting. Aha, Smoglet was asking something about that as well. Yeah. So this is the sort of the point of this match, is that you let both clubs discuss and confer before they make their moves. So it becomes a very social event, quite exciting. Yeah. I think this would be a cool trend to do with more clubs, you know? Why not? Why not make it a thing? A good, nice, exciting event for the Go Club. Okay, are we back to game? Okay, so now black is thinking. Which variation should we play? Yeah, I'm sure there are more than one variation here. I was showing one earlier where black connects. A simple way. I think it's very simple. I don't know if we can play this Atari and block. That seems a bit weird, if I'm being honest. Like, white is quite nice here, right? I mean, even this one might be better. And just make extension. So comfortable for white, right? Then you might as well have just played here right away. Yeah. So I don't think that's a good variation. But I think this could be something to consider for black instead of connecting. Doing this, on the other hand, I don't think is a good idea. But maybe it's fine. What will happen in this case? Okay, if white plays this Atari, we could ignore. And white kind of got tricked almost. I don't know if I would say got tricked, but this is quite a sad life for white. So white should maybe do this. And here black could extend. And now it's too late to play here. Actually, it's quite interesting, right? But white can just connect. It should be good enough for white, yeah? Yeah, this is not so happy for black. Then black would have to consider something like this. Capture. If I capture, maybe white will counter. Isn't it? But anyway, even like this, white is not dissatisfied anymore, I think. So probably black cannot play like this. So anyway, I like this move. After all is said and done. Future of Go Summit. Rob is saying, I do a training with two teams. They play each other, but they can consult you. So you're like the oracle. So they can consult the oracle. That's kind of funny. You should include like they can bribe you for a better answer. Black could play R18. Okay, so this variation you mean. Yeah, this variation. This looks like quite a common one when black has this move. But it starts differently. Okay, we can try to tevari it from this shape. It looks like this one. Like that, and black counter Atari. But I'm used to the black stone being at R14 in this case. I thought maybe here, but if we play like this, yeah, white can bully, right? So maybe this is correct still. Okay, after that one, classically, white will do this. And not to capture, because if you capture, the life is a bit pitiful. Yeah, that'll be the pitiful life. Yeah, not so good. So white's idea usually is to go out. Again, this is usually when the black stone is at R14. I don't really know this variation with this high move for some reason. And this is some Joseki where white builds a shape on the top. Yeah. I don't know exactly And that was a tevari, because in this case we started like this and then hit this one, but I end up in the same shape. Yeah. So, but I don't understand what's wrong with the connecting. To me, it looks perfectly normal, you know. I think they're just, I mean, this is the kind of situation I'll try to explain, because I'm not someone who trains a lot of Go, but of course, more than perhaps the average Go player. After all, I do stream and I do teach, but I'm not like seriously practicing for myself. So that's one reason I don't know a lot of complicated joseki. And this has given me sort of a meta strategy of keeping things rather simple and trying to understand the simple variation of shapes better. You know, it also helps when you're teaching opponents of, I mean, not opponents, teaching students of different level, right? You know, you can give them a simple variation, because complicated takes a long time anyway to learn. And if the simple variation is just as good as the complicated variation, then what's the point even to spend all that time with that specific one, right? So this would be one of those cases. If I'm playing this game, I'll just go, hey, it's fine. What's wrong here? Why do I need to spend all this time, energy, think, oh, what if I do this and that and do that? You know, I could save that time and energy for a situation where I really must. I have no choice but to think a lot. Yes, somebody also mentioned this one. This I remember seeing like an old key from the 1980s or something. But this is also an interesting variation. So you're saying something like this? Yeah. But I'm not in love with the black shape on the outside. It looks a bit dubious. There's a lot of cuts that will be exploited potentially. And both your corner and your top is gone. I'm not a fan of it, I'm afraid. But maybe I'm misunderstanding something. Finally black cuts. So I wonder if this is because they really think it's better, or if they are using the meta idea that, okay, we are now outnumbering them with strong fighters, so let's get into a complicated fight. Yes, of course, Rob. All the strong players are very good at the reading and complications. That's true. That's true. But I can say another meta strategy, at least for myself, is that if, let's put it this way, as an amateur player, you are never gonna be like amazing at all the parts of Go, right? Because then you're not an amateur player, you're a pro player. So instead, you kind of have to choose perhaps a style that you get quite good at. And when you're choosing that style, you should think about longevity or sustainability. And it seems to be that the style of crazy fighting is not that sustainable with old age. Seems to be. But the style of, let's say, you know, judo on the board, where we kind of redirect and choose a good direction and look at the big picture, that seems to stick with old age. So as an amateur player, I think that can be a good meta strategy. But then, of course, you also should enjoy the game. And if you enjoy fighting and complications, then by all means, go for it. It's not that I don't enjoy it. I just don't want to, in one game or Go, I don't want to do it at every moment. I will choose those moments when I feel like I have to and take that time then. Rob says, until 50, it worked just fine. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, at the end of the day, I think especially as an amateur, the enjoyment part is the most important. If you really enjoy this kind of stuff, then why not? Okay, so they're going into this kind of variation. guess it's reasonable enough. I'm really curious about this Q14 versus R14, the difference. I mean, perhaps it's something about the Aji later. So let's go with, okay, first of all, if we choose this variation, this is generally considered you're living too small, but perhaps in this variation you can live a little bit bigger, and maybe it's acceptable for white. It doesn't feel that way though, right? Even after this one and this one, I think this is like a half a center, right? Otherwise a ko, isn't it? Let me investigate. I think this is a ko, right? Or is it not even a ko? No, it's a ko, right? So that means white is not living in a comfortable way at all. So white cannot choose that one, I think. So if white choose this other one, black goes here. Let's say classic variation like this, and black even answer. Let's say white goes to settle or whatever. Okay, keep it simple for now. Let's imagine a Tanuki. Is there a Aji difference now in the corner because of this kind of move? Normally, again, there's a black stone at R14, not, I mean, R14, not Q14. It's usually it's here. And then this is not scary, this move. But maybe after this, in this shape here, yeah, it's a bit annoying because, of course, it's not that you can't eat these stones, but if white can use some new fighting here, right? It can be interesting indeed. Then again, we still have this thing that this could have been black center earlier. So there maybe the Aji is not that bad. And I don't know if black can still do this, but it doesn't seem... It's a bit complicated. The reason I'm thinking like this because I never see this shape with the Q14 stone, you know? Seven is a squeeze. I need to find what he's talking about. 7 is a squeeze. Aha. Someone is talking about, will you derank Kosumi? Oh, okay, this is PVC goal. I mean, okay, if black play here, there is this way to make the shape uncomfortable for black. That's why black usually, anyway, plays here. But maybe in this case, maybe not. Don't know if that's what you're talking about. Of course, here white can also just jump here directly. Maybe that's what he means. This is kind of another way to make shape. Like this. Yeah, white can make shape outside some way or other. Actually, I never know if I should connect outside or inside. If I connect inside, yeah, it should be okay like this, right? Yeah, so I like inside in this case. Outside is probably also considerable. I don't know if that's the way to use the word considerable, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So this 7 is also a nice way to play. Can also do like this. Same. Yeah. Rob thinks it's great for white if that happens. Yeah, maybe he means because of the presence of K16, you shouldn't play the diagonal, you should just play the jump instead. It can make sense. In the game, white didn't play the Atari first. I think that can be considered a mistake, right? Because now it's different, isn't it? You're just getting... What's the difference? Ah, yes, it's different from end game perspective at least. So if you play the Atari first, By the way, I should mention here, if black just goes out, then white lives this time in a quite a happy way. Yeah, much bigger. Even can consider to play here actually, because this is also very good shape. And if black consider here, then this is totally different story. But anyway, so the difference here would be if you make this exchange first, and then black goes to kill the corner. This means... What does it mean? What's the difference? Why do I feel like this was fine for white to play like this? Seems fine, right? Positive said we should play. Well, I'm busy live commentating this game between Gothenburg and Oslo. And we're very lucky today to have quite a sprightly Rob van Seist in the chat as well, giving us a lot of wisdom. Black could set up a ladder. Oh, ladder! I think the difference between white playing the Atari at R16 first and not playing it is very small, right? The difference is very, very small. It's just some aji, like the one I was mentioning earlier. I don't think it's like very, I mean, that's some aji, right? What I was mentioning earlier. This, okay, we were mentioning, let's say like this or whatever. I was mentioning this kind of aji in the future. Or this kind of aji. So it's something, I think. You kind of lose that aji a little bit when you play like this. Maybe not that much though. Still white can play S14, isn't it? Maybe this is even better. I'm so confused. I don't know why this Atari is... Maybe that's the thing. When this stone is at Q14, you don't play the Atari at R16. Oh, maybe that's the case. Oh, who is raiding? This looks like Japanese to me. But anyway, a nice little party of 4. Welcome, my friends. Black at S18. Ah, comone. Comonero. Black S7. What is he saying? Rob is saying, set up a ladder if black plays S17. Oh, wait, what? You're saying... Oh, yes! Whoa! How could I miss that? How could I miss that? Right, this move. I'm glad I actually paused to read what he was writing, because this is really cute. Yeah, this is not good for white, because now it's too late to play R16. Too late to play R16. Because now there is this one. Yeah, and for those of you who don't know what's going on, yeah, even you run or whatever, this is a ladder. This is a ladder. Oh, thanks for noticing that, Rob. That is so cute. So that means, yeah, after this one, you try to do the same kind of squeezery. Yeah, it's a totally different kind of shape. Yeah, now there's, you know, it's not, okay, not that different again, though, I would say. But it is. I mean, this is a cleaner shape for black, I guess. It's not that big of a difference. Again. But somehow it looks like a cleaner shape. But it's anyway super cool, like this one. Super cool. But what if you do that, and then turns out the ladder breaker is good? What if... Something like that would be funny, right? And then you shouldn't ladder after all, even though you can. But this ladder breaker looks like crap, because I can answer easily. Anyway, these are some... I'm quite surprised in this sort of standard Joseki plays. There's so many like little things to think about. That's why they say don't just memorize Joseki, study Joseki. Yeah, so anyway, this is the game. And as expected, white is sacking. We will see this and this. And then this is what I mean. Now white has to make a decision. Do I want to play this tiger's mouth? Or do I want to play this connection on the outside? If we play on outside, this is quite a big profit here. But on the other hand, this maybe black can play, so white might just connect. On the other hand, black's top is like broken. And if we play this tiger, this cut is not so cool because of this Atari anyway, right? Yeah, then like this. So then the downside would be maybe this peep and some kind of bigger picture attack, which I think white is kind of okay with. I still like this tiger, because even here, the profit is immediate for black, and then after this one, you still kind of attack white, right? So I prefer this move if it's my game. Then memorize what you studied, and then study what you memorized, and then study the concept of memorization, and then go and play memory with a deck of cards. Okay, somebody's writing. I should keep a track of some new information. Absolutely. Need to react to this one. Okay, sorry guys. I should be blah blah blahing, but why is it so hard to find things? Okay. White is now thinking about the same things I was thinking, I think. Should I connect outside, inside? What should we do? What would you guys do? Would you play Tiger's Mouth on the top and take a solid living group there? Or would you connect outside and be ready to sacrifice? Interesting. The sacrifice is quite big though. I mean, these points are not small if you sacrifice, because all you're saving really is a little bit on the outside, but usually the side is more important. You may say, but he's breaking his own side. Yeah, but we will run together in the center. But the points here is quite large, right? How to count? You know, this is 4 points. 5, 6, 7, 8. Also, white later can play Hanif connecting, and this will be smaller as well. So at least we can count 1 point smaller here. So that's 9. And then whites will get points in here. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13. Something like 13 points difference if you let him capture this or not. And in this way, anyway, this cut is not interesting. So I think this move is better. Maybe some other move like this one can be considered as well. I don't know. That looks a bit funky. Attach, maybe. Tenuki, maybe. No, I don't think so. Yeah, these are my thoughts so far. Interesting. Very interesting. Indeed. Okay. And I'm glad we have so many people are interested in a game between Oslo and Gothenburg. Later, I will also put the stream up on YouTube for those players who are in the game to laugh at my silly commentary. Yeah, white is really thinking. Ah, finally they chose this tiger. PV Seagull asks, is this game for a specific event? This is an annual match between the two Go clubs, Gothenburg Go Club and Oslo Go Club. And I think they've done it for 5 years already. And this is the 6th year then, if I should trust this lady, Carolina. Last year was won by Oslo, but before that, Gothenburg won all the years. This time it's looking good for Gothenburg simply because they have a very strong team right now. Oslo has some strong players, but not as many. Quite as strong as the ones in Gothenburg, at least on paper. This Atari was kind of surprise to me, though. I thought black will block. I guess this Atari was okay, but I mean, white can even think about playing Ko now. However, if it's me, I will consider pushing here. I think this is a very big point. If a white plays like this, can I not just play here even? Right? And black is not so comfortable. So that's why I thought the reason I reject this move is not because I think black will play n18 immediately. But I thought when black plays here, that this exchange is not so awesome. It doesn't look very delicious. And anyway, you want to add a move at some point, right? So I thought maybe we just fix. Then, you know, if black played here, you wouldn't play this move, obviously. And if black doesn't add a move, then you have some other concepts. So you can jump in here. This is what I'm thinking. Even you can imagine this PV there. And if black blocks, yeah, then of course you will move out with speed. So that's why I thought this was a bad move. This exchange seems to help black more than white. But when black immediately here, I think it's very tempting for white to push here. Yeah, this shape, yeah, we can cut, but seems these 3 stones not so hot anymore, right? Yeah, this doesn't look amazing for black. Come out and white can just capture. Maybe it's okay for black as well. This kind of capture usually is nice enough for white. So this is what I'm thinking. Might be wrong though. I don't know if it's a bitter and dramatic rivalry, but actually Gothenburg and Oslo are quite close to each other, like geographically. They're closer than where I am in Stockholm. It's farther away to both Oslo and Gothenburg than it is between those 2 clubs. I think perhaps there was some player who used to be in Gothenburg Go Club, now he's in Oslo, and they organized this. I don't know how they organized it. Usually whenever there's a tournament in Gothenburg, there's always some Norwegians coming. So maybe that's why there's a lot of connection between them. Yeah. I mean, there's no rivalry. I mean, it's because Gothenburg is clearly superior. So of course there's no rivalry really. It's just it's more of a big brother, little brother kind of thing. Even though Oslo is a bigger city. So I don't know who is the big brother in this case. Nah, but yeah, just kid around. Swedish and Norwegians always kid around about each other and make jokes, but it's pretty friendly. A friendly rivalry, let's put it this way. Okay, so now black has answered there, yes, and white didn't play, yes, that's right. Yeah. I mean, even if white connects, it's okay, probably. You connect here, black still need to spend the time to eat the 2 stones, right? Otherwise, you're just giving white shape. So even like this, you can see the shape is quite nice for white, right? Isn't it? It doesn't look very efficient to eat 2 stones in this way, right? Yeah, so even connect, I think, is something to consider for white. If we play the Ko, sure, white will have some threat, but then again, black has like lots of threat to pull these stones out. So I don't think Ko is not really something to play. And if we're not going to play the Ko, we might as well play here, perhaps. It might be a decent exchange, actually. It looks a bit heavy, the shape, though. That's why I immediately didn't think like that. I just think about pushing and basically preserving the concept of playing Ko. If you like just answer, yeah, then maybe still like this, right? Like this. Yeah. Looks okay for white. Surprising, very surprising, this Atari. PV Siegel is visualizing a Brazil versus Argentina football situation. Riots in the street. Yeah, I'm sure there are riots in the street right now, outside of the Go Club. Some hooligan activity. Go-ligan. See, white plays like this. Yeah, this N18 was... can you imagine? There was like... And they played it quite quickly, didn't they? I'm a bit surprised. I mean, there were like three dans and 5 dan or something in the room. They're all like, yeah, this Atari is right. Maybe they were right. I don't know about it. It's probably okay though. Either way, it's not gonna lose a lot. Ah, la di da 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 da. Yeah, they're playing a lot of the moves that I was thinking as well. Yeah. I know in some countries they have kind of leagues between the Go clubs. I know in Germany they have a Bundesliga. But in Sweden and Nordics, I think it's a bit too small for that. And anyway, this is not your average team match. This is not like 4 players from the team playing another 4 players. This is something different, something special. And speaking of team matches, I know that Europe is playing Kansai Kiin Young Professionals this Friday, aren't they? Or starting this Friday. European pros versus Japanese pros. That's going to be very interesting. Ah, Netherlands also has a league? Really? Wow. Some European countries have a lot of Go players, huh? To be honest, I think the Nordics having as many strong Go players as they do is kind of fascinating considering how small they are. Yeah. Ah, Friday from 9:30 a.m. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. It needs to work both in Europe and Japan. But they're not playing only on Friday, right? That's like the beginning stages, and then they play throughout the weekend or something. I will try to follow that for sure, but I will not stream because they have the EGF have their own stream. I think. What's his name? French guy, professional player from Le France. Tanguy Le Calvis doing the commentary. I think. Okay, so black answer. Yeah, I kind of think the white got away pretty cheaply here. So you would say in Chinese, or this is not bad for white. I think. And again, I think now you can connect. Yes, they did. I think they did, or that's my move. Yeah, they connected. Because white somehow gained something from this exchange. You know, K17 to J16 is a very good exchange for white. Because black should have this block and have the territory here. And now black is on E2 stones is too slow, right? And white already has basically half an eye or almost full eye on the top and then white out. And black's territory on the top is gone. So black only has the upper right. And black's upper right is definitely smaller than white's lower right? Or maybe they're somewhat similar. But then the left side competing with the lower left, plus there's the komi and the thickness. It might still be quite balanced because maybe black was decent earlier. I don't know. Ah, so they only play on Friday. Aha. What are your prognostics for that match? Bladavia thinks Japan is likely to sweep 5-0. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so, bro. I think Europe has a chance to take some matches. I think it's quite possible. These aren't the top pros of Kansai Keen. These are but these are the young guys. YouTube link. Now black crawls here, which is understandable. That way white will indeed only have half an eye on the top. Oh. This is an interesting thing. Does that mean white would have been better off to play here now? Because now if this exchange happens, then means white wouldn't play K17. White will play here, right? And if now black to play here, maybe now is a good timing to push here. Kind of makes sense, right? At least on the surface, it seems like to make sense. But white doesn't have to play L18 now. White can wait. But yeah, again, this gives half an eye on the top. What I mean by half an eye is if white wants to spend another move on the top, I can build an eye here, one way or other. But also black can destroy the eye. But probably not so easily, because if you play this way, there's cuts everywhere to take the eye. And if like this, of course, then indeed there is already an eye here. So blocking makes sense. There's also a saying, you should play the center before you protect. So protecting or running on the outside, you can play this now, because now if he wants to have attack, he needs to answer. So after answer, you can go out. That could be a good timing to block here. But it should be fine to not do it too, because it's not like black gonna crawl here and then you just continue to play, right? So it's fine to not play there either, I suppose. Might be better even. Okay, there's some YouTube link here by Saphodius. One more time even. Okay. About the match, right? Yeah. The Europe versus Japan match. Okay, guys, I will just go get some water. I'll be back in a second. Please enjoy. I wish I had some pause music. I don't, unfortunately. And I have returned. The sound of silence. Ah, Saphodius is also doing bilingual commentary from 2 p.m. on the Europe versus Kansai Kanin match. Cool. And here Banan goes, go Gothenburg. Yes, I also root for Gothenburg. But I don't know what I think of the situation right now. My feeling is white is slightly good because of this very dubious N18. You know, there's a potential to build a lot for white here. This black stone's a bit soft in a way. I wonder if white can think about pushing here right now. Is that crazy? That might be crazy. Maybe jumping actually. After this one we can think about jumping. And it's more about letting them add a move. Something like that. If they don't, maybe it's fine. Difficult to say. Solid connect. White is opting for the solid connect outside. So Gothenburg could try to keep bullying the white shape here. Yeah, it's my instinct is to play here now. Because I was thinking white should try to move like this, honestly. Because even this exchange, then yeah, you're losing some territory here, but these stones, the thickness is different. I feel like directionally, this is a bit heavy potentially connecting like this, because now this feels really nice in my sense here, like this. Something like this, I like it for black. If white defends the left side, we start taking the bottom area. This is already kind of painful for white locally, and if white goes for the bottom area, of course the left area is huge, like something like this. And if white just defend the center, yeah, again I think the left is big. So that's an interesting idea for B. Maybe even such a move. Okay, they start by asking a question here. That's almost never wrong anyway. Banan has someone who's forcing you to cheer for Gothenburg. Göteborg vet du, det är klart man hejar på Göteborg. Goa gubbar Göteborg vet du, de ska ju självklart vinna här i, de är ju goa vet du, så det är godklubben i Göteborg vet du. Det är mycket fäsk i Fäskekyrkan och det är skolmat i Bamban och så är det vad det är mer då. Det är att spela kanske kajma eller tvåstegshopp här nu vet du. Anyway, just speaking some Gothenburg Swedish there. Gothenburg is an interesting place because they're known for instance, puns and wordplay. Like everyone who grows up in Gothenburg are just always thinking about puns and wordplay. It's like a standard. So when you talk to a Gothenburg person, they will make stupid word play jokes all the time. They're also like known for being like very friendly, so it's kind of a friendly place compared to Stockholm, which is like a bunch of douchebags basically, as you can see, case in point here. Although I'm not from Stockholm, so I don't know. I lived in Gothenburg for a few years when I was younger. Yeah, Bladavia, I mean it's still Swedish, but it's just you know, accents and some specific words. I was throwing in some words there that are used specifically on the West Coast that aren't used in other places. They do have their own lingo. Even here in Stockholm, there's some special words that are only used here. Elephant's eyes brings up Breivik. No, I think Breivik is Norwegian, no? Not that it matters. I mean, yeah, but he was an evil guy, that's for sure. He's from Norway, I think. Yeah. His victims were from Sweden, though. May they rest in peace. Not all of them, but many of them. So I think maybe the two-space jump is also kind of nice, right? It gives pressure. I think white cannot afford to ignore. I mean, any move around here will be uncomfortable. You're not alive yet. And when white answers, maybe then black can just start taking territory. Or even something like this, if you want to be more calm guy. Probably can also keep pressing. Yeah, like this. Maybe some of them are thinking about moves like this to lean on the white group and attack this group from afar. So if we imagine, for instance, this variation, and then we maybe attack them in a more severe way, yeah, it's probably playable as well. But it's a bit more wishy-washy what you're trying to get here. You don't know exactly. Some fuzzy central influence that's difficult to explain why I'm taking it. Justify. Bananas, is D16 good? Yeah, I think so. D16 is a very classic asking move, basically. And it's basically saying, are you going to play here or here? But almost always it's best to play here. But if you wait and you don't play it now, then in some certain circumstances, white might ignore it even or play on the outside. In this particular shape, though, I'm not so sure it does that much for you to play this exchange because, I mean, you could have also used this peep, right? So this peep is also another good center in the shape. So these two centers both exist. I think this is more of a symptom of watching AI reviews because AI loves to play this move all the time. But it's not always a good exchange, so we don't know. Okay, they finally choose this move. I think this is kind of neat because we were trying to decide, do we play close, do we play far, do we play like from above? So this move is kind of doing a little bit of everything. And it's quite pragmatic. I mean, I'm sure most of you know that when you have a double winged formation around the corner enclosure, like this stone here and this stone here, that's like classical, famous, good shape, yeah? Oh, I think I drew a Norwegian here. Let me see. These are two eyes. And here's the mouth with a super silly tongue here. And then some nose. Yeah, it looks like a Norwegian indeed. Yeah, good. Ha ha ha. Okay, anyway. But white immediately goes to this Kema. This Kema is quite keen. Because it has that sense of direction. But that I had also, that this is quite important who goes there first, because it's a matter of thickness for both players. But it's always more difficult to be the player whose strategy depends on gaining from fighting than the player who's just taking territory immediately. If you took territory, you know what you're getting. And then black just needs to handle these stones now in some way. I mean, maybe even like this, right? Just come together with your stones. And this kind of shape is always weird to fight in. I'm always confused. How do I fight in this kind of shape? Because it feels like a black is thin, so we should be able to like do something. Or you could just cut immediately, for instance. But it's really hard to say. Yeah, this is a ladder thing, which might not even work for white. Oh, it works for white, but we did say black has center here, so we don't know. Yeah, and anyway, it's hard to attack in a proper way, this kind of shape. And if black just connects together, it's quite comfy. So we'll see how black plays. And it is indeed a bit difficult to use this stone to get anything for white. So this move is more about stopping black from attacking white than it is about attacking black, even though black probably should add a move. Yeah. Multi-purpose moves can bite you in this game. That's true, One-Eyed Dragon. That's true. Sometimes a move is like killing 3 birds in 1 stone, and sometimes a move is not quite killing any of the 3 birds. Would have been better to just kill one of the birds at least. Yeah. That's true, that's true. Indeed. Well, that's something nice about Go, you know, there's so much that can change with some details here and there. Ah, we reach our follower goal of 780 for this day. Thank you to S Go Johnny Go. Go Johnny Go for the follow, bro. That's awesome. A fine line between red ear and red nose. Yes, that's a good way to describe it indeed. Well, PV Siegel says, I've been told that good multi-purpose moves only exist if your opponent made a mistake. Well, I mean, isn't it more a matter of like, I don't want to say perception, but maybe that's what I want to say, perception or definition. I mean, to some degree, you could say no move is multi-purpose or all moves are multi-purpose. It really depends on your definition and your, I would say, level of abstraction or level of reasoning. We are using heuristics to talk about Go because it's too complex for us to really understand. So we're using heuristics, and within a certain framework of heuristics, there are definitely good multi-purpose moves. Yeah, we can say that way. And you could also say every move is multi-purpose. But once you start saying they're all multi-purpose or none of them are, then the word doesn't mean anything. It only means something at a certain level of abstraction. But like you say, L3, like this is both extension and a reduction of white's territory. It's multi-purpose, and we can all understand that that's good compared to a simply an extension or simply a reduction. Yeah, on that, in that level of heuristics, when we're talking in that way, we're viewing Go in that way. But yes, One-Eyed Dragon, I agree. This is why Go is awesome, because you can like literally you can view it in so many different ways. You can have a lot of levels of heuristics and abstraction, and you can have some people can have sort of a fuzzy like I flow like this through the board, and it still can work out for them with just like some fuzzy logic. But we learn from Go when we do something like Go that you have to at some point you have to resign yourself to using some type of fuzzy logic or heuristics because it's too complex. And this is quite valuable in many fields, that you can apply some type of thinking that isn't, that it's not optimal, that it's not perfect. But going for perfect is sort of the enemy of good in these situations. If you just try to have perfect logic, you won't be able to have any logic at all because you don't have tens of thousands of years to define everything. Yeah. It's also the interface between sort of STEM fields and the humanistic fields, or like art and stuff. You need both, kind of, as humans. Okay, but finally we have a move, and black plays this schema, which looks greedy. Quite greedy, right? This is basically saying, come on, man, why don't you add another move? It's not like you can kill me. And meanwhile, I'll take all the territory. Okay, if I'm white, I'm thinking this jump, yeah. And black really should live at some point. Of course, it wouldn't be hard to just live. But the question is, what price are you going to pay to live? Let's say this move is center. How painful would that be? Okay, let's say like this. Then white invades and attacks the 2 stones. That looks good for white. Maybe it's fine for black too, but because there's still some cuts on the other side. But this is just sort of a quick idea. This is very greedy, this move. I think if you play like this and allow white to play here, that's fine, you know. You can even think about playing like that. Then you can smoothly try to grab territory and safety for your group. Yeah, this looks quite greedy indeed. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay, I understand. I think I understand what you're saying, PV Seagull. But it's yeah, it needs more thinking. But it's like that old discussion of whether, like, if Senta even exists, like the concept of Senta, like it's just by any definition, you always have to play a move after your opponent play the move. So every move is Senta, right? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, are people from Gothenburg famously greedy? No, I wouldn't say so. People from Stockholm, yes, I would say yes, are famously greedy. Stockholm, of course, is the place of upper class and millionaires and so on. Gothenburg maybe getting a little bit like that, but it's famously known as a working class town with a shipyard and these sort of things. So I wouldn't say they're famously greedy, no. But the Gothenburg Go players might be. One man's sente is another man's gote. One man's goatee is another man's reason to throw up. I don't know what I'm saying. Drama stream. Shots fired. Sorry, I apologize if you have a goatee. Yeah, you don't dislike this for black. No, I mean, it really depends on how strongly white can attack black here. It's one of those situations where I think AI would be like, oh, I can totally attack this black group, you know. But it requires a lot of precision to get it right. And now I'm still going by feeling that you should be able to attack, and it just feels a bit greedy for black. But it's definitely quite a practical approach. Also, you're putting, the onus now is on white to prove why white could afford it to play here, you know. So it's a little bit more painful for white, because black knows what he's got already, and he only needs to make sure white doesn't get much. White needs to try hard now to get something. Yeah, so someone is talking about this, maybe this white group here is a bit thin, so if you try to attack from the left, then maybe in the process black is building, I don't know, thickness, let's say, in this direction, then this group could become potentially weaker. Yeah, I think that's true. So maybe white has to start by invading here or something. But one thing we can say for certain, if black is just alive and that's it, then white cannot allow black to make this into pure territory. That's too big. So in one way or other, white has to deal with this territory, right? The fruit has been dangled. Yep. Okay, white finally goes for the kema. Ah, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I think potentially they didn't like the jump for similar reasons that what I was showing, this attach and hane, like this. Maybe they think it's too comfortable for black. And if you play the kema in the similar jump, then this is maybe a bit better. Or maybe even here. You see, the point I'm trying to make, though, is that if you get only one type of move here, like a little bit of thickness here, then this move suddenly becomes much more scary, right, for black. You're separating these two stones from their friends, right? So in that sense, if you wanted to just go for territory and not help your group, you could have just played like this kind of move, right? And if they come out, then it doesn't matter what kind of thickness you give them. Yeah. It's possible that this is also a strategy you could try to use. This kind of course, yeah, white can shrink it, but still a lot of territory. Kind of interesting, at least I think so. But basically, I think the problem starts, if there's a problem, it could be starting here with this sort of half measure, right? Because I was suggesting we play here, or we play some move like this kind of move. Either territory or go for the big grab. Or my suggestion was let's take care of our group, and anyway, if white makes this exchange, we can make this exchange, and if the white goes further, we can invade. So it's not really urgent to play first on the left side anyway. So that's the goes with the idea of urgent before big. So we'll see here. Now black answers. And yeah, we can say, I mean, this group, it isn't alive. It isn't 100% alive yet. So white can still take aim at it. Yeah. So I think white can still play here. I wouldn't go as far as saying I prefer white, but maybe I do. Maybe I do. I mean, white's still rich here. Oh, we'll see, we'll see. No read and cut kema. D14 cut kema. Aha, somebody think like this. Let's cut the kema directly. Yeah, it can be an idea for sure. But after these exchanges, you want to fight the two stones, probably have to play here. I don't know, white is getting thicker, no? So it's not, maybe not that useful. Cutting could be a bit too direct, I would say. Siegel thinks intellectually he believes that white is leading, but it's a very annoying position. Yeah, this is what we mentioned earlier. I'm not sure white is even leading. I mean, even when I think about it intellectually. But we also know that, sorry if I'm shaking my camera, I should get a mouse really. But yeah, I did mention earlier that this